gonna say a lot. Okay. Hey guys, what's up? Today we're gonna do something different. I usually film reaction videos, but today I wanted to do something more serious. I wanted to talk about my experience taking the NCLEX. And if you guys don't know what NCLEX is, it is a nursing exam where you take it to get your license to practice in the state that you want to practice nursing in. So throughout the video I'm going to talk about how I study, what kind of student I am, my experience the day of taking it. Honestly speaking, I wasn't the straight A student. Majority of my classes I would make an A, but the hard ones like Path and Pharm, Med Surg, like the important ones, I would like make a B. And even though I would try so hard to make an A, it just could not get past that like line. I just wanted to show you that I'm pretty much like an average student. I didn't make really good grades like everyone else in my school. Yeah, so if I can pass it, you can too. So if you guys don't know, I live in Georgia and I went to a private school. I graduated on May 2017 with my BSN, and I took my boards a month and a few days after I graduated. My school recommended that we take our exam 3 months after we graduate, because that's when we usually retain all the information that we have learned in the past year. So I graduated in May, so I would need to take it before August. And my residency starts in July, so I needed to take it like not mid-May, but like end of May and then or early June, just so my scores can come out and I can send it to my hospital. So how I prepped for NCLEX. First, I did Hurst. My school, they had a 3-day program with Hurst where a representative came down pretty much reviewing all the core concepts like cardiac, renal, GI, peds. All these topics are covered in a 3-day course, and it is a bit overwhelming because you're sitting there for hours and hours and they're just talking to you while you're filling out a handbook that they give you to fill in. But it's just long hours, and you do get breaks, but it's just, I think it's kind of overwhelming. If you do miss a day, they have videos online where you can rewatch what they taught in class from their website. So that book was the most helpful thing out there because it went over core contents, important labs, medications, and like other things. They also had online resources where they had medications, like a bunch of medications that are constantly used, like your beta blockers, calcium blockers, ACE, and all that stuff. I just like named a lot of cardiac meds and nothing else, but yeah. I printed them all out, and I would just take the important information and put it in a separate pile and just go over it on my own. So with Hurst, I'm not sure if it's included in your school's tuition, because mine was, but then I'm not sure if other schools do. You might have to check your school and see. I know Hurst, it's not a universal study resource, so definitely check it out. You might have to pay for it on your own, or like find a group of people that want to study with Hurst and like chip in with that. So with Hurst, they provide 6 quizzes with 125 questions. They're timed, and once you go to the next question, you can't move back. So you have to be sure that's the right answer. And they also have the different formats of how NCLEX does questions, like select all, apply, multiple questions, ordering certain things, or just like hotspotting images. I believe doing those quizzes can help build your stamina, because you might not have 125 questions, you might have the minimum of 75 questions, or you could have 260, I think. That's like the maximum amount. So you never really know which one you might get. So it's better to build your stamina as much as you can, and these 6 quizzes helped. I did 5 out of the 6, and my school told me that if you can at least get 77 out of 125 questions right, you have a good chance of passing NCLEX. Secondly, I would recommend writing your notes out, like by hand. That's what I did in school to like study my notes, because I think I'm a visual learner. So then people talking to me and telling me like, oh, this goes with this, this does this, blah blah blah, it just didn't really hit me because I couldn't visually see like. So yeah, so when you write it down, you kind of are able to see it, and then I would like draw arrows everywhere to say like, oh, this causes this, so then you want to see these symptoms because it has this cause, and you would treat it with this and blah. So I think that helpful. I would write in like blue ink because I was told that that helps ingrain information in your head. Fun fact. I would also highlight things repeatedly. So my notes were like very colorful from like all my highlighting. I would also use marker for some reason, like colorful markers. I don't know why. To each their own. Whatever way you study best is the best way to go. For me, it was handwriting my notes. So each day I would handwrite a content, their whole information. So if it was cardiac one day, I would write all of cardiac, and then throughout the day I would just consistently study it. I would go over it in my head, I'll say it out loud at home, and if I didn't get something easily, I would just constantly run it over with myself. And I wonder if I still have my notes, so like let me check. This is the Hurst book I was talking about. You can see the tags that I put on here to like show me which section I need to look at. So like this is the folder with all my handwritten notes, and like in the front I wrote down all the important lab values, like the food and electrolyte values, kidney values, CBCs, all that stuff. And then here are my notes. As you can see, it's pretty colorful. I used a lot of highlighting. Here's like my management notes, and then there's more notes behind them. I paperclip them in different sections, and that's pretty much it. I know it's not that interesting. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys this in case you guys were wondering how I did mine, how I studied and handwritten all my notes. I also use Google Doc to do some of my notes. When typing it out, I feel like it doesn't really help me remember or understand the information as well as handwriting, so that's why I wanted to tell you to handwrite things, just so you can like visually see how things connect, rather than just copy and pasting information onto another document. So the next thing I would recommend is definitely UWorld. UWorld is like an online practice question bank that you can use to help study for NCLEX. For UWorld, it's a lot more straightforward with their reasoning and questions rather than Hurst, which is a little bit more wordy. So in my opinion, I think UWorld is very similar to NCLEX, and a lot of my friends believe the same thing. UWorld has about 1,900 plus questions that you can study out of, and you can do them in different ways. UWorld also comes with 2 assessment quizzes that you can use to kind of pinpoint where you'll do, how well you'll do on NCLEX. I shared an account with my friend just to lower the cost of everything. So for Hurst, I recommend it for the notes and the core content that you need to refresh your memory. And then UWorld, I would recommend it for practice quizzes and questions so you can get familiar with the format. UWorld's format is very similar to NCLEX, so with UWorld it makes you less stressed during the NCLEX because it's familiar to you. The rationales also help because it helps you understand things in a very straightforward way. Also, Hurst quizzes and UWorld, they also give you rationales at the end of the test. So if you don't understand why you got something wrong, they tell you why. I heard some people recommend Kaplan. I know one of my professors recommended Kaplan, but I just couldn't afford it, honestly. I think it's like over $300. And no one I know used Kaplan, and everyone I know that in my school used UWorld and Hurst, and majority of them passed already. So if you want to use Kaplan, go ahead. I can't tell you from experience because I've never used it. So those are the 2-3 things I use for studying for NCLEX. So Hurst, UWorld, and Hurst quizzes. Yeah.